What are methods in Java? So methods are nothing but a set of instructions or code to do something that we have to do repeatedly. So methods allow us to reuse our code and save time. So let's say we want to display some information to each passenger getting on our spaceship, where in the console, let's say welcome to the spaceship. Our destination is Mars. We'll depart soon, and thank you for choosing our spaceship. Good luck. Actually, he not say good luck. This will cause havoc in the passengers, of course. Let's say safe travels. So each time a person hops in our spaceship, we can't code all that again for each passenger. So we'll just cut that part and paste that inside our very own method, and then just call that method for each passenger. Let's start by choosing a name for our method. So display info in camel case, yeah, sounds about right. And then put parentheses, and after that curly braces, and we will just paste our code here inside our method. So this is called our method's body. Now, why is it displaying errors here? What's wrong? Oh, I get it. Remember, we had to give our variable a type to make it work. So this I equals 0 won't work unless we set I to type int, because Java is statically typed. The same way we need a return type for our method as well. So we'll just put void keyword here, and void just means that we don't want our method to return anything. So if we set it to int, we will have to return some integer using the return keyword, or for boolean type, return a boolean, like returning false here. So set it back to void, and we get a working method here. And let's call it inside our main method, because we know this is where your code starts executing. So if we don't call it here, our method just won't run. So write the name of the method, put parentheses, and then this semicolon to end our line. And this is how you make a method call. But it's displaying error again. So what's wrong this time? That, folks, is the beauty of programming. We run into problems, we Google, and we fix. So the reason it is displaying this error here, because this main method, since it is just another method, and it has this static keyword here, which means our main method is a static method, and we can't use non-static variables or methods in a static method. So this int I won't work in our main unless we make it a static variable. Similarly, we just have to put the static keyword before our return type, and if we run it now, it works. Beautiful. So we can now just call this method to greet our passengers each time a new passenger rides our spaceship. Let's talk about our main method now. It is essentially just a method, and it is a special method, and your Java virtual machine is made to invoke this method to start the main thread of our application. So this is the main method's body inside the curly braces. This is the header, and it has a void type, so we don't return anything. Let's try calling it. So we will type the method's name, which is main, put parentheses, and then this semicolon, and in addition to that, it takes parameters, which I'll talk about in a second. Let's run it, and it will run. So it is running the main method recursively before running out of memory allocated for it, and then displaying stack overflow exception. Actually, we can count that, so give me a second. So we're just incrementing the count each time our main method runs. And let's run it, and we can see that it runs a couple thousand of times before throwing this exception. At last, let's talk about passing some parameters. So parameters are just variables that you pass inside your method to perform operations in them. Let's make another method to explain it a little bit. So let's say we want to code a method that will print whatever we pass in it as a string. So static void, and name it print, then parentheses and code block. Our parameters go inside the parentheses. Let's pass a string named str, and then simply print str using the system.out.println and str, and then call this method inside our main. And inside the parentheses, we pass a string now, because That is what we said in our parameters. So let me explain it now. This is the usual method call using the method's name, and whatever string value we pass in it is being set to this string str, and then it is simply displaying it using our usual print statement. And then keep in mind that this is a usual parameter and can't be used anywhere else other than this method. And by the way, this print keyword is the standard output for Python and Dart and maybe some other languages. Anyways, to sum things up, let's code another method and call it add, which takes in two integers and add them together. Static void add and int I and int j as parameters. Just add a comma and as many as you want. And finally print I plus j in the console. Call it in main, pass 2 and 3 and run it. It prints out 5, working just fine. Let's make our code a little bit better by storing 2 and 3 inside num1 and num2 integers so we can change them with ease. But the problem is we can't store them. We can't store this answer in the answer variable because it has a void type. So let's just change void to int and return I plus j. Since it is returning I plus j, which gives us an integer, it can now be stored in a variable and then displayed here. So we can say the answer is plus answer works like a charm. I have coded these other methods to subtract, multiply, and divide as well, and we got ourselves a basic working calculator. So there was a quick video on everything you need to know about methods for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again.